Welcome back to The Observable Unknown. This evening's letter arrived not as a question, but as a confession about time. Larry R. writes, Dr. Ray, I don't know if this will make any sense, but I've spent most of my adult life always late to everything or too early. It's caused me so much trouble, from 2 failed marriages to over a dozen failed businesses. Why can't I get a grip on this, and why is time such a hurdle for me? Please point me in the right direction. My depression and anxiety over this is off the chain. Larry, it makes more sense than you may realize, and you're not broken. We tend to speak of time as though it were an external ruler, evenly marked, indifferent to who we are. Seconds tick, minutes stack, hours advance. But the brain does not experience time that way. Time is not merely measured, it is constructed. Neuroscience has shown that temporal perception arises from distributed systems involving the basal ganglia, the cerebellum, the prefrontal cortex, and the insular regions that track bodily state. These systems integrate rhythm, expectation, emotion, and prediction. When those systems are stressed, dysregulated, or chronically overtaxed, time does not flow, it fractures. Some people live ahead of time, constantly projecting, rehearsing, and anticipating. Others lag behind it, forever recovering from what has just occurred. Still, some others oscillate violently between urgency and paralysis, always late or painfully early. This isn't because of laziness, and it's not because of indifference. It's because the nervous system can't settle into a stable temporal rhythm. Chronic anxiety and depression are not merely emotional states, they are temporal disorders. An anxious system lives in the future, while a depressed system collapses into the past. Neither can inhabit the present with any ease. Research on stress and allostatic load shows that prolonged threat states distort predictive processing. The brain becomes less accurate at estimating duration, sequencing events, and allocating effort across time. To put it in plain language, the internal clock loses calibration. What you describe, Larry, is not a failure of discipline. It is a nervous system that has never learned how to feel safe inside time itself. When safety is absent, time becomes adversarial, something that ambushes you and a thing that you either race or resist. Relationships depend on timing, presence, arrival. So does trust. When someone cannot reliably synchronize with shared temporal expectations, others have a tendency to interpret this morally as disrespect or avoidance, perhaps as unreliability. But the root is often neurological, not ethical. The same is true in business. Forecasting, sequencing, and pacing are the invisible skeletons of success. When internal timing is unstable, decisions arrive too late or too early, and consequences accumulate without pattern. Over time, shame enters the system, and shame, once installed, further disrupts temporal perception. A vicious loop is created. Your letter is not really about punctuality, it's about authorship. Who is steering the timeline of your life, Larry? Many people believe they're bad at time, when in truth, they're living according to someone else's clock, a clock inherited from family, culture, unexamined expectation, or unresolved trauma. Your system is not aligned, so it rebels. The solution is not another planner or alarm. It's not another lecture on discipline. It begins with understanding how your nervous system predicts, prioritizes, and sequences reality. This is where interdisciplinary forecasting becomes less about prediction and more about coherence. When we study someone's temporal patterns across biology, psychology, cognition, and lived history, a map slowly emerges. Not a map of destiny, but of probability, of friction points and windows of clarity. Time stops being an enemy. It becomes a collaborator. Larry, when time repeatedly sabotages a life, it's often because the life is asking to be reauthored at a deeper structural level. You're not failing at time. Time is asking you to listen to it differently. If this reflection resonated, or if you find yourself standing in a similar relationship with time, you're welcome to write me at theobservableunknown@gmail.com, or to send a brief reflection, perhaps a question or two, to 336-675-5836. And if you feel called to explore how your internal timing might be brought into coherence, I personally offer private, interdisciplinary forecasting work designed to help individuals understand how their nervous system, cognition, and life trajectory speak to one another. No pressure, no promises, just clarity. Wherever you've listened to this mailbag installment, please consider leaving a rating and a review. It helps this work reach those who need it the most. Thank you for your courage, Larry, and thank you for listening. Until next time, this has been The Observable Unknown.